Am I the a-hole for refusing to have anything to do with my ex's son's graduation? This may be a bit long-winded, so I apologize in advance. Back in 2006, I started dating a woman who had a 2-year-old son. While we were together, I formed a special bond with him, and it wasn't long before he started calling me dad. It actually got to the point where I spent more time with him than her. In 2009, we broke up. However, I continued to take her son every second weekend. Even years after the breakup, he still considered me his father. We did the things he enjoyed, played video games, watched movies, went to the park, etc. He always had a blast. Meanwhile, he started forming a bond with his mom's now husband and started calling him dad as well. Needless to say, dad number 2 didn't like the fact that I was dad number 1, so he started saying he didn't want me to take the son anymore. My ex, being the terrible person that she is, decided that instead of just helping us all come to a solution, decided to fill the kid's head with a bunch of lies about me. This was all just before Easter 2017. She told him that I was a deadbeat who owed her thousands of dollars, refused to find a real job, threatened to have dad number 2 deported. He's from the Philippines, and never wanted anything to do with him in the first place. Absolutely none of this is true. Unfortunately, the son believed it, and with that was the last time I ever saw him. At first, we were able to talk on the phone, but as he got older, that started coming to an end as well. Now it's been almost 2 years since we even spoke. We effectively have no contact whatsoever. It was devastating having to deal with all this, but I've accepted it and moved on. Anyways, this afternoon I got a call from my ex. She told me in no uncertain terms that since he's graduating this year, it's my duty to contribute at least $500 to his graduation present and show up at his graduation gathering, if we can have them by then. I told her not a chance in hell. She chose to fill his head with crap, leading him to choose to not want anything to do with me. Suddenly, spending time with him again would just open a whole bunch of emotions that I shouldn't have to deal with. Of course, she went absolutely off on me, calling me every name in the book and saying I ruined his graduation. She basically wanted me to buy him the one thing he wants, a PS5, and that it's no wonder he wants nothing to do with me. I told her to screw off and hung on her. Am I the a-hole for refusing to basically torture myself just to make someone happy? Now for the comments. Not the a-hole. She only called you because she wanted you to buy her kid an expensive present. Exactly. X is a real piece of work. I hope he could consider writing a letter or a congratulations card to the son offering to take him out to dinner or coffee to say well done and catch up. Not the a-hole. Send him a card to congratulate him with warm wishes for his future. If he wants to reestablish contact, he can. You have zero obligations to give a gift. Not the a-hole. Your ex is way out of line to think she has a claim. And do you think she'd let him know he contributed to the gift? No way. But poor kid deserves the truth and is old enough to hear it. I hope you write a congratulations card/letter to him, explaining what happened. Just the basics from your point of view, not trying to destroy his relationship with his mother, but just explaining that you always have and still do care about him. And you're proud of him for graduating. Figure out a way to get it to him without the adults blocking it. You could enclose a small token gift card or no gift at all. He might choose to renew contact with you, if you can handle that. Not the a-hole for not wanting to contribute cash. But if you two were very close before she poisoned things, reaching out and trying to re-establish a relationship with him independent of his mother would be a nice thing for both of you. I've tried, repeatedly. Who wants none of it? Next story is titled, Am I the a-hole for asking accepting money from my brother even though my parents are against it? My dad runs a small business. He expected my brother to join him in this business. He did, but they had a huge fight over how the business should be run, and he quit. My dad practically exiled him from our family. This happened when I was around 10. We had a huge age gap, but I had fond memories of him before he went to college. I started talking to him again when I was 15. He is nice. Sometimes a bit of a know-it-all, but also very helpful. Last month, my dad revealed that he had invested the money they had set aside for my education. He had invested into his business, and as far as education is concerned, I was on my own as his business was struggling. They had always talked/bragged about wanting to pay for college, and it really shook me. Our household income is too high for me to get any scholarships or aid. I was venting about this to my brother when he offered to pay for some part of my college. I couldn't refuse his offer. My mom has been pressuring me to get a part-time job to pay for college. I don't want to do this as my schedule is packed with school and extracurriculars. My mom criticized me for being lazy yesterday and asked me if I really wanted to go to college. I snapped back that my brother was willing to pay for it. All hell broke loose after that. My dad doesn't want me to accept the money. My mom is talking about how it would hurt Dad, how my brother will use it against them and mock them for it. I feel a bit guilty as I know that he will rub this on their face the first chance he gets. But I feel I am being a bit greedy by ignoring how this will hurt them. Not today, Hull. The reason kids from high-income families can't get financial aid is because their parents are supposed to have the resources to pay for it. If your parents aren't willing to do this, and they're also the reason you can't get aid, then they really have no right to complain about how you pay for your education, even if that means accepting gifts that they don't want you to accept because it makes them feel bad. Not today, Hull. Sounds like your dad made a bad investment and left you in quite a pickle. Although, don't just accept the money. Make sure you talk to your brother about the conditions. Are there any caveats to borrowing the money? Are you expected to pay him back? Do you have to pay interest? Is there a certain time frame in which you have to pay him back? Also, make sure that it's clear to your brother that this transaction is between you and him. It has nothing to do with your parents, and to not involve them in any way. I would also recommend looking for a job, at least a part-time or seasonal position to make extra money. Especially since he offered to pay for parts of your expenses, not the whole thing. We'll have to figure out where the rest of the money is coming from. I also have a brother who is a know-it-all, but has a heart of gold. So it's very possible your brother is just trying to be supportive. But considering the family dynamic, be very smart and logical about the whole thing, to make sure it's not too good to be true. Not today, Hull. Get your education and leave. They used your college fund, it won't help you after they lost it. Take your brother's money and thank him for his help. Figure out how to rearrange your schedule so that you can work to get personal income to pay for your necessities, including schooling. In other words, you need to get a job and find a way to get scholarships and aid. Do the research. I was venting about this to my brother when he offered to pay for some part of my college. He's only paying for some part of your college expenses. So figure out how to get the other part through your own efforts. Not today, Hull. Next story. Am I the a-hole for refusing to have a relationship with my half-sister? I am a 15-year-old girl who has a dad who is a serial cheater. He has had 3 girlfriends, and each girlfriend has 2 children with him. Anyway, my dad slept with various women, even when he was in relationships. And because of that, he has many other children we don't know of. Once I was with my mom at a grocery store when I was 11, and one woman openly stalked us until my mom pushed me aside to speak with her. She was one of my dad's affair partners asking for help because my dad refused to accept that the child was his. I didn't know about any of this until recently another woman came to me and told me that I have a half-sibling who is 5. She told me I should have a relationship with her and that her and I should be friends so that my dad may notice her as well and accept her. I have a lot of social anxiety, so I don't think I can just start a forced relationship with someone 10 years younger than me. And to be honest, I really don't want to have to help her. So I told her no, and she told me that I was selfish, a snake, and the worst person ever. She told me she was going to send a witch to me, which kinda scared me, not gonna lie, and she started spamming my social media with creepy things. I kinda feel bad because I know she's just a mom looking out for her kid. She just wants the best for her, and it wouldn't hurt to try. But then again, the woman isn't financially hurting. It's more like she wants a father figure for her child and a husband, which I don't blame her for. Not today, Hull. The woman should be talking to your dad about that. You and your mom did nothing and have nothing to do with their kids. Thank you, but my dad goes hard ghosting, and the lady can't even speak to him. Sounds like a her problem. Shouldn't be having kids with a dude you probably barely knew. Also, no adults should be trying to scare 15-year-old. Not today, Hull, plus report this woman to your mom, dad, teacher, police, someone. However many other kids your dad has 0 to do with you. You are not responsible for him spreading himself around. The fact that she would accost a 15-year-old speaks to her having mental problems. Plus, she needs help. but not from you. Thank you. I am still scared, so I don't know whether to bring it up with anyone. Bring it up. She is stalking and threatening you. The more people know about her behavior, the safer you will be. Not Dehal. If this woman needs to find support, she can do it legally, not through you. You have nothing to do with your father's crap. You have zero involvement in that. And you should not have a relationship with anyone you don't want to. Yeah, the problem is my country's justice system is quite corrupted, so I can just pay off people to not have involvement. For the next story, am I the a-hole for refusing to give my stepsister free product samples and giving them to charity instead? A little background. My mom and my dad have been divorced since I was a kid, and they're both remarried to people I get along with just fine. My stepfather has an 18 female daughter with his ex-wife who, until last year, lived with her mom in my stepfather's home country. She has been living in our country for university since last September, but in a different city, so we don't see her much either way. We have never had a good relationship, as she has always blamed my mom for breaking up her parents' marriage and has always made it clear she doesn't consider my mom and I family and wants no relationship with us. She's usually cold and distant at best and outright rude at worst. Anyway, she's currently on a little bit of a break, so she came down to visit my stepfather yesterday and he invited me to go have dinner with them. Now, I work in media/advertising and I often get sent product samples. Can't possibly use them all, so I have a couple of charities I give some products to, depending on what they are. Last week, though, I got sent a couple of samples of a product I thought my mom could really use, so when I went to their house last night, I took them with me. The samples were inside what was very obviously a press kit, and my stepsister asked about it. We had never talked about that part of my job, so I told her a little bit about it and she was fascinated, asking a lot of questions about what I normally got and what I did with it and stuff like that. When I told her that most products I didn't end up using I gave to charity, she went all like, "Oh, do you think you can run it by me before you do that next time? Maybe I'll want them." Normally I'd be fine with that, but honestly, it just rubbed me the wrong way. All the time she's known my mom and I, she's been rude to us. But now that I could supply her with free stuff, she's suddenly interested in me? So I told her in simple and polite terms that I wouldn't be doing that. And she started saying that this was why she'd never wanted a relationship. That we were rude and selfish and that she didn't know why she bothered. She doesn't, but okay. Anyway, the rest of the evening was extremely awkward. And when she left, my mom and my stepfather told me that they thought I should just give her any samples she wants because that could be an excuse for them to see her more often, and maybe even the start of a friendship. I hadn't even questioned my decision, but my stepfather in particular seemed really disappointed, and now I feel bad. Am I the a-hole? Not the a-hole. You said it yourself. She wasn't interested in being even slightly cordial until there was free crap in it for her. Real relationships aren't built on giving people stuff, and I doubt that even if you tried their method, she'd be interested in speaking to you unless there's a PR box in it for her at that moment. In fact, I know that would be the case because I was in a similar situation when I was working for a modeling agency and would get PR and samples. Exactly. OP did an amazing job in not letting themselves be steamrolled. Not the a-hole. Not the a-hole. She only wants you for your products. If she wanted to have a relationship with you, you wouldn't have to bribe her to get it. Not the a-hole. You were polite and firm. Do with your stuff whatever it is you want to do. And thank you so much for thinking of charities. It is amazing what a little nice product that you offer can do to a down-and-out person. Not the a-hole. It's your stuff, you can do whatever you want with it. How can your mom and stepfather think samples are good enough pillars to build a relationship on? Your mom can share her own samples if she wants your stepsister to have some. Last story is titled, Am I the a-hole for attending my dad's 60th birthday instead of sister-in-law's high school graduation? My dad turns 60 on Sunday, and my sister-in-law also graduates high school on Sunday too. I made plans last Wednesday to go out for dinner with my dad and my siblings this Sunday. My mother-in-law informed dear husband and I this Wednesday of graduation happening this Sunday. I kindly told her that I had plans with my dad, and we can stop by before the ceremony and take pictures with sister-in-law in her cap and gown, etc. That's when my mother-in-law blew up. She started coming at me aggressively and asked the following. Mother-in-law, so dear husband can't come to his sister's graduation? Me. Well, he can do whatever he wants, I just won't be able to make it. Mother-in-law. I just feel like a high school graduation is more important than a birthday that can be celebrated literally anytime. Me? Well, he actually turned 60 on Sunday and is golfing Saturday with my brothers. Mother-in-law. You can see him literally anytime. Me. I haven't seen my dad since Christmas, and Sunday is his literal birthday. And then it kept going in circles like that until dear husband finally stepped in and reiterated we see sister-in-law, or neighbors with our in-laws, all the time, and he didn't really care to attend. For context, my dad lives alone and has been feeling lonely and sad lately. I would feel horrible if I missed his birthday. Rescheduling is hard because my brother works nights and has to sleep Sunday until his son's football game at 2, and is meeting us for dinner at 3:30 and going back home, an hour away, before returning to town again for work. Sister-in-law's graduation ceremony is at 2 p.m., an hour from the restaurant. She's also having a graduation party at a later date, which we will attend. I am going to try and see if my siblings can meet before my nephew's football game. But if that all fails, then I choose my dad's birthday. My day hall. Not day hall. Attending your father's milestone birthday dinner, after not seeing him for 5 months, trumps a high school graduation. We never know how long we will have our parents with us, and that's a fact of life. Another fact of life is that high school graduations are boring. I hated my own. This. I lost my dad at 61, and was thankful that I had a party for him that year, that he said he didn't want, but secretly did, and loved every minute of it, lol. Coming up on 6 years without him, I cherish those pictures and memories. OP not day hall. Not day hall. Milestone birthday is kind of a big deal. Plus, it's one of your parents, so you don't even need to justify it. You're making an effort to make it work by attending the graduation early. That's considerate and thoughtful. Go to the birthday and enjoy. Don't feel guilty about being there for your dad. Not day hall. Your plans were made already. Enjoy dinner with your dad. By the way, high school graduation may have been a thing back when less than half the US had a high school diploma, but now it's not a big deal. Right? I kind of feel like everyone graduates high school and just having a grad party anyways in June, which we will attend anyways.